Hi, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Hello, it's me. Hi, Grandma Sherry, Fruit Loop. Hello, hello, hello. Do we have two It's Me's in the chat, or did you change your profile picture? Let me see here. Okay, no, same one. Change the profile picture. I was confused. I was like, wait a second. So welcome, guys. Today we are going to be talking about Kaylee Jones. We kind of brushed up on her story a little bit yesterday. Positively Parker had covered her story this week as well. And today we have her parents here to talk about Kaylee, who she is, and what is going on with her disappearance. And so, Parker, hello. How are you? Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here and to help Brenda and everybody else any way we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Brenda. How are you?
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah. And so is my husband, Danny.
Hi, good
Hi,
afternoon.
Danny.
Hi, Danny.
So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about Kaylee?
Yeah, sorry. She's a girl. Sorry.
It's okay. It's nerve-wracking.
Well,
what type of sports did she like?
Anyway,
Personality-wise, stuff like that.
Kaylee was 18, almost 17 years old. We adopted her and her brother 12 years ago. I was looking at it. It's been 12 years, and so 12 years ago we did that. Several years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago, we started her in horses and stuff, equine therapy, blah blah blah. But her favorite thing is of course, she loves the horses. That actually helped her with a lot of different things, even with her autisticness, and she's very high functioning. Most of the time, she's very happy, and it's a lot of fun. She's silly and this and that, but she has her other sides and other issues and stuff she still deals with. Besides the autism, she is bipolar. They haven't diagnosed it, but they don't want to at her age, this and that. But it's genetic / hereditary. It's very certain from research and stuff that Brenda has done, my wife, and there's just too many signs to not. So, and anyway, we have issues with her here and there, and then we're just normal things and normal parents. I get, and we'll try to be normal, but I don't think we're. I guess maybe we're not normal, but yeah, I mean, this whole world with technology, the telephones and the internet and all that kind of stuff is a real far out there place that nobody, I guess the new young people that didn't know it before or know the internet before there was no internet, they don't grasp the reality of it. And it's not just fake and it's not just virtual. It's actually real out there somewhere. So,
yeah.
Anyhow.
So she was about 4 years old then, whenever you guys adopted her?
Yes. Well, she was 3.5, almost 4. But my wife, she's a development therapist, and actually she was a client to my wife from the time she was 18 months old.
Okay.
Her and her brother were put them in foster care. Then Brenda got them because, like I said, she did the therapy in the foster home itself, and for about 8 months almost. She had not even 3 when she found out that Brenda found out that they were going to terminate right because the parents couldn't get their act together or whatever. God dropped a little girl in our lap, and we honestly didn't know she had a brother. And when we found out, we said, well, we're just going to take both of them. So we took both of them, and then it's been a very much of a roller coaster ride with them and their issues and their special needs and the different things. But yeah, I mean, God brought this little girl into my life, and very happy that she did. I mean, I can't honestly say we go back and do it again, knowing what we know now. But, you know, just the heart of it is, you know, because there's a lot of days when we wonder if we did the right thing, and because it's killing us and it stressed the whole entire family out. But the reality is we were where she was before. And if she was probably not in our home, and I'm not bragging on ourselves, but it's just that we have really tried to focus on making her be the most that she can be on her own. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't look like that from the outside looking in, but just, yeah, I don't know.
I get what you're saying, because sometimes kids don't always see things that we're doing out of love the same way that we do. And so I totally understand that. Now, do you guys have other children in the home besides Kaylee and her brother?
We actually have, now we have total 5 kids. The only one left at home, because our oldest is almost 25. We have twins that are 20. And my youngest son is he went,
Which is her brother.
which is her brother, and he's out actually in Illinois and in touch with his birth mom and everything, and he's, you know, that's what he wants. But he that was actually a good thing, because he went out on his own, and now he's able to see what we were trying to do for him, and he appreciates the fact. And we've been trying to get him to talk with, you know, Kaylee a little bit as well, to, you know, get her to understand a little bit better. But yeah, she's the only one left at home.
Okay. And so tell me about like the days leading up to her disappearing. Has she ever run away in her past, or is this the first time this has happened?
This is the second time. She ran away in February because we took her phone. The first time. But she was gone for like 4 hours, and the police brought her back. She got in a car with an older lady because she was lost. She just took off out of the house. We thought she was hiding in the backyard, and then we realized she's not hiding in the backyard because we have lots of acres back there. And next thing we know, the police brought her back. And it was no more than 4 hours.
You said that she got into a car with an older lady that last time. Did she know that lady?
No, that's the terrifying part.
So, like, pictures of her granddaughter that's about,
and then she took her to her house.
So she got in the car and went to her house.
Thank God she was a lady, because she called the police. But yes, that's the scary part. Kaylee just got in that person's car.
That's the most terrifying, gut-wrenching thing you can even think of, and we got her back. And it was just, yeah.
So the last time that she had ran away, she had no plan whatsoever. She just left the house and went with a stranger, complete and total stranger.
But she had money.
Well, she had money. Had a gift card.
Okay.
Didn't have money. That was her thought. Have money. Have a gift card. Yeah. So that can tell you how Kaylee.
It's probably the impulsive part is probably a little bit of, you were saying, the bipolar part of it.
Yes. So we took her phone for a while. Oh, actually that night we sent her to Chicago to be with her brother. And we thought maybe he could talk to some sense into her. Because she was just so determined. I don't know what she was determined to do, but she was determined. So she spent a week in Chicago, and then this mama heart couldn't handle it. So I went and got her and spent a week with her in downtown Chicago, just doing fun touristy stuff. Then we came home. She still didn't have her phone. We took it for a while. She had no Snapchat. We locked it where she could only have like 2 hours a day when she was beside us. We had just recently given it back to her. We thought she learned from that.
She kind of showed in a way that I thought was a little more open, and actually
she seemed to be doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Until a couple of weeks before she ran away. She was just not happy, just pretty depressed.
Was there one particular event that you think led to her being depressed or upset?
No. I mean, I know she wasn't really, I mean, she was missing Florida.
The whole thing is with the both of them, and as long as we had them, we were always through a cycle almost of rotations and it would depend some days or sometimes the length of time that we would have. We called them good days. I mean, when they were young, both of them, we could have 2 or 3 good days, in a row, and all of a sudden we'd be down for 3 weeks, and then it got more good days, and then we'd have the lesser of the worst days, and then you'd get a cycle 6 months long, and all of a sudden here you are for 3 weeks, and there's nothing you can do to calm them or console their spirit.
Right.
So, I mean,
sadly, that happens so often in kids that go through this system because of the neglect in their care and
correct.
the moving and things like that happens whenever you go from, a neglectful or abusive household and then to the system and then to somebody else's home. It's a lot, especially in that very, very young age that she was. I mean, you guys are saying about 18 months she was in types of therapy and stuff like that already, where you actually met her and then adopted at around 3.5. That's a lot on a young mind. And so I can understand how that would carry out through her
100%.
Childhood.
Well, and
okay,
I will
so you
say,
guys go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to
go
say
ahead.
it is important, I think, to mention too, because Sleuth Mom, you and I have talked about this a little bit, and Brenda and I talked about this throughout this whole process. You were trying to get Kaylee the help she needed,
Right.
as far as therapy. However,
yes,
the system is broken, and you were not able to. So
for the past several years, we have the med management, and she was on ADHD medicine. She was on this and antidepressant, this and that and the other. And we'd go, and Kaylee and her brother did the same thing when he was with us. But it was like the doctor will ask, "How you doing?" "Oh, I'm doing fine." And you kind of look at him, you're like, "Really? Are you? You're not telling the whole truth, but whatever." But the doctor really never fed into that. She was on the highest dosage of her ADHD med, and I think one of the anti-anxiety meds or whatever. And then we were back and forth, and the move changed, or the move happened because of work, and it was actually a good thing because I went to work at a horse farm, and Kaylee has horses, and there is beautiful acreage out there that she can ride her horse, and all this. So it's a benefit for her as well, and all this. But back to the medicine stuff, it fought for months because back and forth trying to get it. We wound up taking her off we couldn't get refills, so we kind of had to quit the medicine, and that was also the fight of trying to get her back on it, but just not blatantly putting her back on something. And I was trying to talk to her several weeks ago, like, I don't want to go back on meds, I feel better like this. Yeah, help still, but she was like against it. But at the time, Kaylee, you're old enough now that now you've been off all your meds, for several weeks, months, or whatever it was. I don't know if it's very long, but you can actually get ahead of what you're feeling, and now we can get doctors. Now we'll get your doctor and work with it, because then you'll be able to say if it's working or not. And if you're getting depressed, well, maybe we'll change something here or there, and we'll try to help all around. But anyway, it's just
it's a lot, especially whenever you're dealing with medication and stuff like that. So was she back on her meds at the time of her disappearance? And just for everybody who is just joining us, because we have gone up several people, this is about Kaylee Jones. She is 16 years old, beautiful brown hair, beautiful brown eyes, missing in Carrollton, Georgia. I believe I said that right. And so she had recently moved to Georgia from Florida. She is homeschooled, if I'm correct. And, she was adopted at a young age, and her family just wants her back. They just are wondering where she is. This is the second time she has vanished. The first time she got into a vehicle with an unknown person who, thank God, called police and got her back to her house. And so the second time, once again, she may not have had any plan at all, or there could be the social media aspect. Now, you guys believe that she could have been lured out of her home by somebody on social media. Or at least I had heard that. And so
Yes.
did she play certain apps or games on her phone or Chrome tablet? How was she active online?
We just found out that she was going to chat rooms. We know one called that she was on.
Sorry, say what that was called again.
Omegle?
Okay.
Omegle.
Omegle. Yeah.
Okay.
OMEALE.com.
I know that's where she met a couple of the guys that she was talking to.
The problem with that website is it's anonymous. You don't
Okay, wait 1 second, because I think you guys are breaking up a tiny bit. So she was on Omegle, and you said that that's where she met a couple of the guys she was talking to. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Continue. Sorry.
And
that's all we know. And then
I've never heard of half of these chat rooms I've learned in the last few weeks.
never knew.
we had no idea, and we find out the hard way that this is one of the worst things out there, because don't need to. There's no profile to build. You literally log onto the website.
Oh yeah, chat's blowing up saying it's a bad website.
This thing, you just pop open a little window, or it has a window on it, and you can put your likes in there, and then you can connect with people that, the thing randomly connects you with different people.
Oh, wow.
That is scary.
Share whatever you want to share on the chat, or you can also video chat, like a FaceTime or whatever. And once you close that page, there's nothing on there. It wipes itself, basically. You can't see nothing. And
now, have the police taken her devices?
Yes.
But
okay, good.
A Google Chromebook, and I tried to put all the safeguards on it and this and that. But the thing that I've learned, because I've had anyway, and you basically with the Google Chromebook itself, there's an incognito mode, which is like a private browsing thing. Well, on the Chromebook itself, not like another computer like a Dell or something that has Chrome on it. The Chromebook itself, it literally keeps no data. And I found the hard way. And actually, the investigator for the sheriff's office was talking to her tech guy. He said, I can't even take the hard drive out of that computer, because as soon as I go to, if I were to take it out, it's designed or set up. As soon as you do that, it's supposed to protect identities and stuff, so it'll wipe itself clean.
That's awful.
It's
There
awful.
needs to be like warning labels, on
Especially
that
since
for
kids use those for school, like nationwide.
Right.
Correct. But I would never put a Chromebook because of this. I mean, Apple. Some people don't. I mean, I don't want to get in that debate either. But Apple versus Android. But Apple computers, they have a lot easier parental controls. There's still bypasses. Don't get me wrong. But for the most part, if you give them their Apple ID, you can get on there and you can safeguard, and it tracks like 99.9% of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to track it, and it's very easy to put the parental controls on there for the most part. I had more issue with that Chromebook than I did her telephone. And we were just kind of relieving some of the blocks on it, because of the fact is, okay, fine, we want to show you that we're going to work with you. If you're responsible, we're going to work with you and give you more freedoms. But the freedom we didn't know we were giving her was she had to be in the dining room on her laptop doing her schoolwork and stuff, because all this stuff was happening, and we're still trying to give her that, and can't be in your room, locked by yourself with a computer up there, whatever, not knowing all this was going on. But that's what she was doing. She was doing her schoolwork, quote unquote. And inadvertently, I found out after she left or whatever, I was trying to go through the book, through the computer. She had her window, like when you have your screen optimized where it blows up the whole screen and takes over everything. When you right click it and minimize it a little bit. She had that screen minimized where as soon as you clicked it and it minimized down, it went to exactly half the page. So made it funny that, okay, now I knew. And once, then it all made sense. Well, she was able to minimize it and have her chat room in the back or whatever in the incognito mode. And then if we were to walk in there, she would be able to touch it and just go back up and open up, and we wouldn't know anything because it's got her browser open with all the tabs on it, blah, blah, blah. And I honestly didn't know that the computer had the incognito mode on it. Dumb as that sounds.
I don't either. My kids both have Chromebooks for school, so I'm going to get it after this.
That's terrifying.
That guy with a
and I also
hat.
had an 8-year-old tell me the other day he knew all about it.
That's the terrifying thing is we don't.
Right.
Like I haven't heard of half of the apps. Like I said, I've learned about in the last 2 weeks, and these incognito modes that we're seeing. Snapchat disappears. This new website. It's like they're just setting these kids up.
Yes, they are.
Well,
and we're seeing more and more and more teenagers that are being, lured out of their homes by people, and it's terrifying. So let me ask you though, as far as running away goes, do you think that there would be a friend that she would go to, either in Georgia or in Florida even, that she would be trying to run away towards? Or do you think it has to be somebody online?
No, I mean, we've talked and linked to her friends and her parents. There's only 2 that she's really close to, and we've talked to link to all of them, and so have investigators.
Well, the funny part is, I mean, I guess actually in a different way, you would have to think about it as, okay, our definition of a friend, I know for a fact now, I mean, looking back in the past just over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks almost, that she has a total different idea of what a friend might be, than what we know a friend would be or should be. So she's probably off with a friend, or whatever. And whoever it is, they coerced her, but they did it as her best friend. And
right. Through this website, most likely.
Probably. Yes. That's what we're thinking. And we don't know anything for certain. That's the worst part. There's yeah. And one of the things
somebody's got to be helping her because she has nothing. Yes.
Oh, right. She doesn't have any money or anything like that. That's right.
I mean, she has her. She
had maybe $50 in her wallet, if that.
Yeah, that's not going to get you far.
Yeah.
And if she used that debit card, we would know it.
Oh yeah.
And the sheriff's office, has that number, and I think they transferred it out as far as actually to the U.S. Marshals Service as well. So now, if that card gets used, supposedly they're going to know it like almost instantaneously.
And they're supposed to know if anybody gets on her devices right away.
Yeah, they'll track the IP addresses for sure. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the day that she went missing. What happened on June the 16th? And when was the last time that you guys physically seen her or spoke to her? What was that interaction like?
No, that was the Wednesday. It was, yeah, I'm sorry. We're sitting here because we know the date. I'm sorry, not to be rude or correct. It was Wednesday the 15th when I noticed at 7:00 in the morning, Brent noticed her.
Okay, so it was the 15th that she actually went missing. Sorry, it's because the article here says the 16th, but I'm sure that's whenever she was probably reported.
Well, no, she was reported right after.
We had the that morning, and like I said, we're not trying to be corrective, but it goes through.
No, it's important. It's important, and like we've talked about, articles that's part of the importance, I think, of having you on here is, well, you said the articles have had her name wrong.
Right.
The date she's missing wrong, like all of that stuff only hinders finding her.
We want to correct any misconceptions or anything that's wrong.
Like that. It was more.
So she went missing.
I know the time she went missing, that was, it sticks out as I don't know, tower or something. It's a beacon. It just.
So it was anywhere between the 11:00 Tuesday night and 7 in the morning.
Wednesday, 14th to the 15th. That overnight.
Okay. So what was that day like leading up to that? What were you guys' last interactions with her like?
All You want to be honestly, I was kind of avoiding her. I was kind of, because I was so overwhelmed. And I didn't want to get upset. I didn't want to anymore because I had already got upset at her. I just wanted to take a break and take, back a little bit. That was probably the wrong thing to do, but I didn't know what I
No,
wanted.
not at all.
No,
I mean, they
space
tell
is
us all the
good.
time whenever, they tell us all the time whenever you are fed up with your children, or if you're having altercations or things like that, disagreements, that it's better as a parent to walk away and give yourself a cool down period than to have an interaction that you may regret later. And so I'm a firm believer in that. If you're having difficulties with your children, no matter how young they are or how old they are, sometimes it is best to, calm yourself, walk away, and to give yourself a cool down period. So don't feel bad if you felt that you needed to do that. Now, so were you guys arguing leading up to that day?
Well, we
Was
were,
it about the phone or anything like that?
because we found the stuff on the phone that
Monday afternoon, the
was
13th.
not good. And yes, we argued.
There was stuff on the phone
Yeah.
that you never. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Even,
Yeah. So
anyway,
so then we went to bed, and she went to bed that night after we had talked. We thought we had talked, and
we said love yous and good nights. I mean, we do this no matter what. I mean, it's just one of those things. We might not hug and kiss on her, at certain times, but you always get a love you good night. That's one of the things. And it was 10 or 10:30 that Tuesday night.
So then I left. We both left to go to work on Tuesday. I had her phone. She was home. She's supposed to do her schoolwork while we're gone. I debated whether to take her computer, and I said no. I'm not going to take her computer because she needs to do her schoolwork, and she's trying to get her driver's license. So she's trying to do the Joshua's Law for Georgia to get her driver's license. She was working a lot on that to get it done. I'm like, well, I don't want to leave her with nothing to do, so I left her computer. I had it in my hand, and I put it back down. I'm like, oh, I regret that now, because that had to be the only way she could have communicated with somebody. I went to my sister's house after work because I just needed somebody to talk to, and Danny came home, and he talked to her for a little bit, and then I came home a little bit later, and I really didn't talk to her much, and then we went to bed. Yeah.
With Kaylee, you say, it's a good thing to have space, but the thing is, if Kaylee didn't like the space you were giving her, or if you didn't give her as much attention, even though you're at each other's throat or whatever, and she's sitting here, denying or whatever, if you tried to just steer away from that situation, you can't, because she wants to, come in and deal with you like nothing has ever happened, and let's go back before this happened. Well, I'm sorry, certain things we can do that with, when you're growing up. There's certain things. The issue with taking her phone, that was something that was, these things, it's never easy, but the things that we're getting into on this telephone are just, it's nothing as a parent you want to see or hear about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
yeah.
So, I mean, it's like.
So it was concerning, the things that you guys found on her phone. It was concerning things.
To say
okay.
that. Yes.
Yeah. And so that would make you, I'm sure, even that much more worried as to where she possibly is right now.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
I can kind of assume the things that you guys are alluding to without you even saying it. And so that makes it that much more important, you guys, to please hit the like button, share the streams, get their story out there as many places as you can. All of the missing Facebook groups, everywhere that you guys are. We've got 58 to 65 people in here consistently hearing this story. And Kaylee is out there somewhere with somebody likely from some pretty scary chat rooms. And that's terrifying for this family. It's me. They're not sure exactly who she was speaking to because unfortunately the chat rooms, whenever you exit them, everything's deleted.
That's
It
just
does keep
maddening.
a
I'm
record.
sorry, but that's just maddening to me. That is just terrifying.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, it was in my house and I didn't know it. I had no clue about this. I was
Well,
talking
I
to one
mean, how
of our,
would you on a Chromebook? Those are, so they're constantly advertised to be like, what kids use for school and everything. I would not have thought to check a Chromebook for that kind of stuff, I guess.
well, the incognito, I had the computer in my hand and I could not, I had somebody, it was actually my cousin, he's kind of IT, and we went through and I was going through like the back door of it, they call it's the DOS, or it's the old school,
Hmm.
all the like apps, it's the coding kind of stuff. And he was telling me, type this in, type that in, type this in, type that in. None of that stuff. It drew a blank because there was nothing there to get.
Yeah, I didn't know about incognito mode until I'm just now talking with y'all. That's
And to go back to Snapchat, not to go back
And the
all
kids
the way.
know about it. I'm finding out.
The kids
Well,
I
know.
was going to say,
apparently.
what other apps other than this Omegle chat room? You said Snapchat. Did she play like any like phone games, like I don't know, Farmville, or like a basketball game, anything on her phone like that that would have in-game chat rooms?
She might have got into a game chat room, but we don't know of. But she doesn't usually play any games on her phone.
I mean,
Okay.
some
She's
of that
not.
stuff several years ago on like her little iPod thingy and one of the
She's
older
not
phones
the
we
kid
had. But
to be out playing on games. She's or even watching TV. She's outside riding her horses or doing something outside or doing her art.
art.
She loves art.
Well,
Art.
that
So
was one
far,
thing I noticed is that weekend, just looking at, your stuff, it looked like she had a great weekend with horses and stuff.
She did.
So it was, I mean, probably you didn't quite expect this either.
No.
No, I mean, I went home and I spoke to her, a little bit, and it's not like we were mad. It was distraught over, the whole thing, and not knowing how to, exactly move forward. That was the worst. And I kind of told her, I said, there's just only so much that we can do to help you, and I don't know what else to do right now. I mean, but I did tell her straight because I mean, yeah, she did run away 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But I was like, you know what? I honestly, I had a eerie feeling that possibly I'd come here and you would not be here. But you know what? I want you to know out of my lips right now. I said, I'm so thankful, glad that you are sitting here. I told her that Tuesday afternoon. I told her that, and I made sure I made it clear. I said, I love you more than you know. I am absolutely glad that you are here. I said, I mean, not happy with the situation, but that we can deal with, somehow and work through it. I said, the simple fact is, I love you for who you are, and I am very proud that you have not taken off and just run off like you did before. And that thing is, I think she learned something doing it the last time. Now, won't go and find somebody to get the police involved because she kind of knows the police would bring her back again. And we
Oh.
and the cops told her that the last time, you can run away and you can say your parents abused this, that, and the other, but unless there's evidence or truthfulness of it, um, it doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to bring you back home. And actually, last time that they brought her back, they couldn't tell us one way or another, or they didn't tell us that she was in the car because 2 sheriff's officers showed up. So, but that's telling us we were, but the simple fact was and the cops they looked and all made sense. All of think of she was a mad teenager that we took her telephone back then, and was his words, not me saying nothing. And because what we said, we took the phone, and he said, I can see where this is, and I've seen this before. It's a mad that you took her telephone.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's disheartening and hard for me to even say that. You know, I'm not bragging about it, but the simple fact is, it's like, well, you do everything you can for these children,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, try to take them out of the situation they were in. You try to give them the better life and everything. And there is damage done from the get go, just like you guys were saying about the nurturing part and the, you know, the feeling of abandonment.
Yeah, it's hard because they never really truly feel that void being filled. And it takes a lot of years, a lot of counseling, a lot of just love and care. And sometimes a lot of these kids, you know, never truly get past it. And that's nothing against the people who are currently raising them. It's just because of the fact that they have such hard starts in life. And so it's hard for me to know exactly, you know, what's going on in her head. But I've seen this before with kids who have been adopted, and it's difficult. And then of course, you know, our mental health care system is broken. And COVID did not help that, because things went from in-person visits to online, and you lose that trust whenever you switch therapist, and all of the different things that happen to a lot of children who were going in and out of mental health care through that time period. So let me ask you guys, is there anything that you would like to say to Kaylee if she happens to come across this video and listen to it?
Come home. Come home. We love you. Come on, come home. Yeah, so.
Or don't come home. Stay where you're happy, but just let us know you're alive.
Yeah.
You know? I don't mean that as I don't want her to come home, but
No, I know what you're saying.
the reality is, if you really don't want to be with us, that's fine. But please just let us know where you are and that you're safe. Because then I can get back to, I mean, I don't want to say a regular life, but this is the worst. I just don't know how to keep heads or tails of anything on any day.
I can't imagine. I mean, Brenda, I told you the other night, I went to bed studying her Facebook, just for any type of glimpse of to how could, you know, looking at her likes, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I can't imagine. And I fell asleep doing it, to a point where I had to text Brenda the next day to say, did I dream this, or did I actually go to bed reading?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, you know, what it feels like. And I want to make sure I clarify one thing, because now that it is getting a lot of attention in the press and whatnot, there are going to be GoFundMes that probably pop up. There is only one GoFundMe for the family. And maybe Sleuth Mom, we can share it on my community post or whatever. And the reason being is, I don't know if you guys want to share a little bit. They did have a private investigator, and that did not end well. And so you need, you have a reward out there and stuff. So there is, I believe, funding needed to just help find her.
Yeah, so we could get a better private investigator. One, because most of them rely.
I want to caution you, before you go out and hire private investigators, please talk to Missing Justice, who is helping you guys with the flyers and the Facebook group. Make sure that anybody that you guys are going to use as a private investigator is somebody who is reputable within the community. And there are people through Missing Justice, for example, that is running that group, that will be able to tell you, hey, maybe steer clear of this one, or help you to research whoever you guys
I told
hire.
Brenda loud and clear. I was
like, that now.
This is who you don't want, because you do not need drama from this. This is all.
Yeah.
No.
You just have to be careful with who you trust with your information. Private investigators, obviously, you open up your entire life, everything that is going on to them. And so you just need to be careful with who you trust and all of that. And so Um, I just want to caution you there. You know, there are people in this community that can help you guys and steer you in the right directions as far as the steps to take and what type of process to go through. There's no handbook for having a missing child. There's nothing like that out there that can really tell you what to do and how to do it. But there are those of us in this community that will be here to support you guys along your journey. Between
Absolutely.
Parker, myself, Missing Justice, Missing in America, there are different organizations that are out here just to help the family and not to make anything more difficult. And so I just want to encourage you guys that we're going to continue to be here for you. Sherry just dropped the GoFundMe link if anybody is interested in donating to that. It is here. And so, Parker, do you have any more questions? Anything that I might have missed?
I don't think so. I just, from my perspective, Kaylee, just to back up your mom and dad, they love you very much, and I just at least let them know you're safe. And I want to say something to Brenda and Danny. I just feel really led to tell you guys that I just want you to know you didn't do anything wrong. I know with these cases there can be a lot of judgment, and I just want you guys to know that you're not going to get that from Sleuth Mom or myself, because parenting is difficult. And, I think you've done the best you can by Kaylee. And like you said, it's a teen that got her phone taken away. And I know if I took my kid's phone away, they would think that's the end of the world. It's just how it is today and age, this day and age. But she's there somewhere, and we're going to do all we can to get her back safely.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kaylee, I want to tell you too, if you're listening to this, it's hard. It's hard being a kid. It's hard being a teenager. But there are people out there who love and care about you. And there's an entire community out here now that knows your name and knows your face. And we are praying for you, Kaylee, with whatever you might need mentally, emotionally, the support that you need to come home. Call your family. Let them know what's going on. Reach out to your siblings, your friends, anybody. If you don't want to talk to your parents, that's fine. You have brothers who care about you as well. And so please, come home, reach out, let people know that you are safe. If you're unable to do that, if somebody out there has this girl, we will find you. We will find you.
You mess with the wrong community. You mess with the wrong community.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys so much for the time that you have given to us. And we've had you on for about 45 minutes. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that you were willing to come on the show and talk about your daughter and share her story with us.
Hope it didn't hurt your ears too much.
No, you guys are fine. Thank you so much. I wish this is the first step in the right thing to do. Getting her face out there as far as you can to as many people as we can. Somebody out there will see her. Somebody out there will recognize her beautiful brown eyes, her long brown hair. So thank you guys again for coming on.
Your time. And we're so happy that there's so many people that care. We did not realize that there is such a big community.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody here, guys, Parker actually brought this case to my attention. She did a video on Kaylee the other day. Please go over and check out her video. Parker is trying to transition kind of into the missing community, and I would love to see you guys go and support her channel as well. So
yes, thank you. And yeah, Kaylee, just I think with the mental health aspect of it, it's really touched me, because I was one of those teens, I didn't, I remember getting mad at my parents, and it is hard. And, she just needs to get home and get the help. So we're going to get her back. Like I said, if somebody has her, they messed with the wrong community.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you all
All
for
right,
joining
thank
us.
you.
And I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Prayers for some type of change in this case. I hope the police are able to update you and get this story out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.